All right, we're on.
Okay, this is my SCA Viking shield here. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to test it too to see what kind of impact he got. Because we noticed on the bricks it seemed to put out a little bit more speed. I got more range of motion, it's got a longer reach. And I'm going to try hitting him with this and see what this does. I'll hit you with a medium blow here.
Oh man, that was as bad as a big blow from the Ashes.
That was medium. Can you take a harder one? I think it's going to fuck you up with that.
Let's try it. Oh, that's worse than the Ashes. I don't want another one.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no.
You want to try a light one with this?
Let's try it. Oh! Okay.
No, he can't take any more. I'm sorry, bro. This moves too fast. This is like hitting him with a medieval weapon.
I got
Sorry.
a little whiplash from that.
Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
That's what they tested on the show. Hey, I know we're still on camera here, but they tested a light shield, something that's more modern, made of aluminum, so it moves fast. You can wear it all day from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. You don't have to be a warrior for, you know, hundreds of years to be able to do it. That's what they tested. They tested something that moved really fast and then tried to add
that
weight
hurt.
to it. Tried to add, well, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
He's got to go to work, so if he has a concussion, it's my fault. So sorry, but we figured human is the only way to go. I'm sorry, and I knew it wasn't going to kill anybody. I know it's illegal in the SCA to punch for the shield because there's no way to make one totally legal because of the weight of it. This is why. Now, if I had nailed him with this Viking shield weighing 9 pounds would have laid him out, probably knocked him out. I don't think it would have killed him, though. It would have been a knockout. But you get my point. See you later. This is Thrand. We're looking at the wounds that Elgrimir sustained from the shield bashing. Which one did this to you right over here?
That was the Viking shield. That was on the second impact.
And what was this over here? You don't know, sure. That's probably just some plates that cut into you. We didn't use any padding this time?
That's plates cutting into me, and that was from you shoving me with the Aspis.
Oh, so the Aspis did hurt, but I don't think the shoving could do any broken bones or anything.
No, that was...
But that's the only wounds you got right now. Hey, Thrand here. I know we brought the Center Boss Viking round, which everybody associates it totally with the Viking. It was everybody in the 9th century that used that shield. We brought it back in this video to do some testing with it too, because it was just one of those things that... We got a sharp blade here. I was trying to show that. But it was one of those things that they had throughout history. Some of the wicker shields were covered in rawhide. All right. The Vikings used everything from oak that we know of. Lindenwood was the best wood for shields because it kind of gave in spring. You also hear them using pine. How could a Viking have a pine shield? How could somebody later century have a pine shield? Well, there's one thing we got to bring into the discussion here. They used 1/4 inch wood. The slats were 1/4 inch. They'd make them as least amount of slats as they can. And if you look at this, they'll go, oh, you use plywood. Well, I want to show something real quick. We use plywood, but if you get real close to this, you'll notice that the center is the grain all going the same way, and look how thin the wood is on the outside. This is like a veneer. It barely does anything for these shields. A lot of times it'll splinter and crack when we get hit really solid, but it doesn't do anything to the actual wood. And if you watch a shield blank, because there's where 1/4 inch, see, it gives one way more than the other way because of the direction of the grain. Well, we use that and put the handle as our slat, and as you can see how this one tore up, the grain only really goes one way. This veneer here is really nothing. I mean, it does the job of something else that they had back then, and let me show you what they used. They used rawhide. Now, you'll see on stuff like Herstwick where they covered a shield with leather. They didn't use rawhide. They used leather. This is tanned leather. This stuff here, if I cut it, cuts clean through, you know? I mean, this stuff here, I can pretty much cut a chunk out of it, all right? You saw it come off there. I'm pretty sure y'all saw it. I mean, it's leather, but it's cuttable, right? This is rawhide. This is what they use. I don't know if you can see. I know he can zoom in, but I want to show. That is kind of thin compared to what they use, and it weighs almost nothing. That's the thing about this leather. This leather's heavy. You check this out, put a big piece of this up, this weighs more than this here, and there's probably less coverage than there is in this if you unroll this way. Okay, here's what I want to show. This here, I am not getting through the first layer. I'm cutting into it barely, but I'm not even getting through the first layer. And you see how hard this is? This is what I'm trying to explain. This would have been covering both sides of the shield. So the actual edge of the shield could come down to 1/5 of an inch thick, which we don't have the luxury of doing because we don't have the rawhide for back and front. And if you put this up here and look at it, see how much thicker the actual shield would be with this on back and front. It was stitched in while it was wet around the shield and rimmed with it, and then it could be reinforced with metal rimming, but then it would drop tight like this. It'd turn hard because this is stretchy and pliable. It's not tanned leather. Okay. So I don't know what happened in the axe here. The oaks is here. And what I'll also do is show you, this axe is very sharp. I'm going to take a few whacks at it. And I know you might have seen the Herstwick site where they cut clean through the shield when they hit with a big heavy axe. But if you're looking at this, yes, we hacked into it, but we only went into about one layer. If you had the wood and this and the way this stuff acts like plastic and the whole shield gives and bends and it's on a center boss, and you saw how Eldgrimir with those type of shields here that I used for the SCA rimmed with aluminum to help strengthen them, the grain going the proper way, and with the give of the shield, even though it's torn up over time, you see the veneer stuff splitting, it absorbed all those blows from above, below, what have you, because the shield gives. It doesn't actually stop it. It's not strapped on. You're not getting hit on the arm. There's no force going through the shield. That's why we showed on these shields it's easy to pierce them. But it's not against your hand. You have metal over your hand to protect it. But with this, it was very difficult to get anything through it. As you can see, that's barely into it. So that's basically what I was trying to show, is the difference between this and something else if we could show. If I have something to do this with, I didn't even totally plan on it, but I wanted to show it. If we put this between here and pound on it, it should have a spring. It doesn't break, it's not a bone. I'm trying to show the resilience of this material. So no, it's not hard and brittle. The whole thing is giving and bouncing. Are you seeing it? Can you see it on the video over there?
Yeah, I see it fine.
Yeah. So I mean, I could hit this with a Canabo, and even with the little studs in it, back in front of that shield, you're not destroying that shield. The shield might change shape over time if you kept beating it, but we're not getting breaks and cracks. And just to show you, it's acting spring-like and bouncing. This is not leather. Now, not to put Herstwick down, they did do a good test showing that a shield covered in leather is better. But my flaw I have in it is our historical reports show that they actually said that a shield had to be covered in rawhide. Heavy oxen rawhide, or the man would be punished for it by one of the kings. And the reason why is leather is, you know, it's going clean through. I don't know if you can see this, but this leather is not doing anything on your shield, and this is very thick ounce leather. That would go straight into the wood. Whereas over here, we were barely cutting through the thing. And if we did, it took all the force I had to barely go into it. I don't know if you can see what I'm saying. It's not going through into the next layer even. So that's what I was trying to explain. This stuff acts like plastic, and it shrinks and pulls the shield together, and it's a totally different animal than what y'all are picturing. And the stuff you're accusing us of using is plywood being super strong is really only wood all going one direction, and we have a thin amount of veneer trying to hold it together. But due to the rimming and the stick going the proper direction and it being a center grip, we can actually survive the blows with something this thin and have a lighter shield that when we're done with the riggings, it weighs actual historical amount. We know they weighed about 9 pounds and they covered about 1 meter, 3 feet. So there you go. I just wanted to let you all know this and finally cover it, because I never get to cover it with people. But like we said, we didn't say the shield would be totally indestructible. Over time it'd be broken or damaged, but I don't think there'd be a broken arm involved. Got my nice Gerber right here. And as you can see, we pierced it, but look what kind of piercings we got. You know how great that would be on my shield if I can get enough to cover a shield. We're going to make a video just to let you all know. We're going to cover maybe a 1/4 inch piece of plywood like this of oak or birch, or usually I use oak, or I forget what the other one's, mahogany or something. I think it's oak that I normally use. I'll know when I see the wood, but that's oak there, the blank. But we're going to cover one with rawhide and thicker than this, both sides. It's extremely light, and we're going to test that out in one of our upcoming videos. I don't know how soon, because it's going to be expensive, but I really want to do it. And do it historical, not for an SCA shield. Hey, it's Thrand here. We tested the punching ability of both these shields. We tested the Viking round, and we tested the Aspis. Now the difference was this one seemed to put out more power. It's the exact same diameter. It could even be elliptical as well, meaning the curvature shape. But it's a center boss, and they were a lot lighter than the Aspis because it was designed to take punishment for, I guess, years in battle. They pass it down from person to person, so they could weigh anywhere from, 15 to 24 pounds. I mean, actually the Vatican shield, they said it was like 14.5 or just a little heavier. So let's test the Viking shield. We know this should be wearing about 7 to 9 pounds. And see my construction I use for the SCA, how it comes out. Saying 8.5. Okay, I've got the Spartan Aspis here that we created. They've had to hang it up there with it. It's made out of oak. The whole thing is we're going to test this out here. It should weigh the amount of actual shields back in the day. These things were made to last, like I said. So they were made in a heavy oak construction. Then they were covered with either, most people will always say bronze. It could have been bronze, but a lot of times it was rimmed in bronze, and the actual shield was covered in several layers of linen, like 7 layers or so or more of linen, laminated onto it. You could have heavy rawhide, just like the Viking shield. I mean, there's lots of different things they did to them. They wanted them to last to pass down. This was something you did not drop. It was the equivalent of the samurai's katana later century to the actual Spartan. So we want to weigh this and see what kind of weight we get for it. It looks like it's weighing in at 16 pounds. And the show said theirs weighed 24. And this thing is really hard to punch or wield. I'm not getting the kind of results that they're saying they got. I'm assuming theirs weighed about 8 to 9 pounds and was Duracraft aluminum from the looks of it. There we go, we had a charge and we're going to try it again. This is with the 3-foot Aspis. We'll try again here. Let's see if I can get an arrow off.
Okay, we've got 2 warriors meeting at about 60 feet. We're going to see how many arrows Lord Wayland can get off. Go!
Shit, where'd that one go? I'll go get it. Did it bounce over here?
It bounced up.
Alright, we're going to film this one more time, only Thrand's got the Viking shield. Again, we're going to see how many shots our bowman can get off. Whenever you gentlemen are ready.
Ready? I'm dead.
He would have to start switching to a weapon way sooner than that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Let's try that one more time.
Yeah.
Alright, ready when you are.
Ready.
Looks like you can get 2 shots
You really
off.
don't have much of a target, do you?
No, not much
What
of
are
a
you
target
seeing?
at all. Mostly just shield and the top of the helm, or even if an arrow went through.
How hard would it be to hit the shin if you were aiming at the shin or foot?
It's really hard because
Just
they're
glancing
moving.
between.
Yeah, they're moving.
So if they're actually saying these guys are seeing each other within about this range, how are they getting all these range kills? That's what we're trying to figure out. I can see it with a throwing weapon in melee combat, pulling one out and throwing it, but I'm not seeing it, trying to close.
I
Like
guess
that.
they're assuming someone's going to be stupid enough to stand there and let you shoot.
Oh, like
at
I
it.
have my sling and throw rocks at you and you shoot arrows at me and then we
Yeah.
finally charge when we run out of time doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what they're doing.
But this was Lord Wayland. He helped us out with the video. We wanted to
Hello.
do this in the first video for you. That's why we used both shields. And no kills, no hits. And do you want to show how accurate that thing is? Like just hit something in the tree or something? Or... He's going to shoot at this tree over here and just nail the tree. This is more accurate than a regular bow. It's like a gun. You get to aim it. And this is what he likes to do here. He hit it right in the head. See, that was the head right there? He nailed the tree. So he can hit what he's aiming at. That's not a problem. You want to shoot another one or you're good?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay, but
Right.
he just showed you. He hit the tree dead on at that range. And
This
you can't
is,
hit the shieldman because the shieldman's looking at you. He can see you firing. I can actually see the arrow for a little bit while it's coming. I could put the shield in the way unless I'm point blank, and then it's too late. So that's what I don't get about this.
And the draw weight on this is about 70 pounds.
70-pound crossbow for the SCA. It's actually an SCA legal, so if he would have hit me, he would have killed me or anything like that. Don't have full armor on for the war.
And blunts.
Yeah, Balder blunts. Hey, Thrand here. The reason we didn't test the Yumi is we didn't think it was totally fair because Spartan didn't use ranged weapons. But not only that, within 60 feet is what Deadliest Warrior says they sight each other in this program. At 60 feet, if that's when they're going to make contact with each other, I'm sorry, but you're only going to get one arrow off. The chance of one hitting is slim to none if you've got a man with a shield, a large shield like a 3-foot shield like the Viking, or a 3-foot shield like the Spartan, the Aspis. So what we're trying to get at here is with this, you can hide a javelin behind a shield if you've got this type of shield. So actual Healit might have had a better chance because he had ranged weapons. He could move faster and he actually had a shield he could hide something behind. But the good thing about these being superior, something like a throwing axe is superior to a bow in melee combat like that in close range because you can throw it at the opportune time. You have it on you, you pull it out to use it. If the guy moves in on you too close, you can still fight with it. I can fight with this axe. I can fight with it with the shield. But then I can also still throw it if he tries to get away from me. I can pull out this to fight, to throw it at you. And then you come in, but I still kill you. I've done this before in fighting. I've actually pulled a javelin out of the SCA, had a guy hit at me, blocked with it, stabbed him in the face, and he didn't want to call it because it was a javelin. I didn't throw it. The marshal said he had to die because this would have been a real spear if I was throwing at him. But when the guy backs from you, you can still throw it. And the bow shuriken was the same thing. The ninja had it on him, but he pulled it out, a large spike like this. I can fight close quarters with this. This is just like having a blade or knife. I can kill a man close quarters with it. But if I have to, then the guy gets back and we're back to our throwing. And like what I'm trying to say is that basically thrown weapons and the kind of simulation they're doing are superior because I don't have to remove it. I can keep it on my side. I might not use it the whole fight, but if I need it, I pull it out and use it at the most opportune moment. And if the guy rushes me and I don't get to use it, I can still kill him with it. With a bow, it's kind of a disadvantage sitting here drawing something and trying to fight with that. Sorry. Hey, Thrand here. We've got the elevated axe we've tested in various videos here. We just wanted to show that everybody act like that was a joke against the shield and it didn't have much weight and would never equal to any kind of Canabo or anything like that. 7 pounds? That's a wood chopping axe at 7 pounds. Of course, most of the weight's in the head, which would be like an actual Canabo, would be nastier. This was our soaked 2x4 that we had, which is not soaked now, so it might be a little lighter. 7 pounds. Whoa, very similar. And what I say about medieval clubs, I picked this up and decided it was about the weight of a medieval cudgel. Hey, Thrand here. A little secret about this Canabo of ours, it's live oak, it is hardwood, but we know something about it. It weighs actual historical weight. If you look it up, the heaviest Canabo is only about 11 pounds. The one on Deadliest Warrior that they used was 11 pounds. And everybody's kept telling us this thing is not, not historical and all that stuff. What does it weigh? It weighs 11 pounds. That's our big joke. I know we said 25-30 is what it felt like, but it actually weighs 11 pounds, actual historical weight. Okay, this is the Canabo that everybody says had no power and wouldn't hurt anybody because it doesn't have a proper grip, and I can't wield it to hurt anybody. And I'm going to come up here, I'm not doing an overhead swing, that's just so retarded. Now, what we're going to do to answer the video, the guys are sitting there telling us we've never held a Canabo and we don't know what it's like. They don't know what this thing is like. And I'm sorry, but this thing has range of motion and weight. We're talking an explosion.
Yeah, that totally decimated that cinder block. And that ain't bamboo, buddy.
No. And this is what you said, that Elderbear was blocking and it wouldn't do anything. Almost hit him. Crap. And as you see, another freaking explosion. This is what that shield stopped. We're going to try it against the Aspis as well and see if he can take that with that. I don't think so due to the strapping on the arm and the elbow taking the blow and the edging hitting him. Really don't think so. This is my only Canabo. Okay, we're testing the Aspis against the Canabo. Let's see what happens here. Try again. Did you feel that?
Yeah, I felt it.
going to do one more in this position.
Okay. It's hard for him to get in with that little dagger. I can almost get another swing around the other side.
I'm going to try it.
Okay. In that kind of position. Oh, did I hurt you?
Good.
I was trying to see if I can get another swing. I can definitely hit him in the time it takes him to try to get to me with that little thing and the reach on this. Okay, we're doing one good one here as hard as we can just to make sure this is a good defense. Oh, you hit your head?
Yeah.
Are you alright?
Got fine.
What happened? Oh shit! Now we're gonna got fucked up here, man. Sorry. We should have used the helmet. You got a cut. You have a concussion?
I don't know.
I told you, you said it wouldn't hit your head.
I didn't think it would.
Oh man, it sucks. You got a good gash. How's your arm?
It's fine.
The arm survived, but the shield hit him in the head. Okay, Thrand here. Last time, he was standing here and he had this set up here, but he was trying to absorb the blow with his arm, knowing I'm going to hit him in the arm. He was just holding it out and letting the whole shield give with his whole body. The problem with this, I see, is when we tested that way, I'm focusing on his arm. I'm trying to just really hammer that arm as hard as I can. But the flaw was when I came up at an angle and he did that, tried to let his arm just give, the whole shield tipped up and hit him in the head. That means if I would have done that, he thought I was hitting his arm, and I came in and hit up here, it would have nailed him right in the head. And I'm sorry, but if I hit full force that way, even with the helmet, if he had the shield up a little bit higher, like when I hit your, when it was here, this could transfer full energy over his head, injuring him anyway. So what we decided is, if a Spartan was using this, he would have to put some resilience with his arm. He'd have to have his arm rigid. It'd have to be this way to try to stop it. He can't just hold it here and expect to absorb. So we're going to retest. He's going to put his arm out and try to stop this. And I'll hit in this area. And we'll re-see if he feels any damage or anything through the shield. Ready? Oh! Did that hurt?
Yeah, it hurt.
Okay. Hold, don't punch out. Just hold your arm rigid.
Oh, even rigid, I'm still getting hit by my shield.
How does it feel though?
It doesn't feel good.
Just as I assumed you would get damage through the shield, that's why they had these 4 yellow springs on the show, and they had a brace inside the shield, because even the Canabo trying to stop that kind of blow, even with that resilient of a shield, you're still going to get forced through there and injure the arm. That's what I was looking at. Yeah, Tom, how's your shoulder and your arm feeling?
Oh man, my arm hurts, man. I don't want another shot from that.
Okay, what we're going to do is put this down on the center block. And as you can see, it's an actual center block. But I devised a test because my belief is the force is going to transfer straight through. So let's say you're the Spartan and you have to block a face shot and you put it up like this. This is straight. I made sure he never did that because I told him that'd be a bad idea to put it straight out. He pushed it up like this, but he didn't put his arm straight out. If any time you had to block something, put your arm straight out, this whole bone here is in a bad situation. Plus, how's your body feeling?
Oh, my body is aching, man.
Like a freaking train wreck or something?
Yeah, I feel like I've been in a car accident.
Okay, well we're setting this up here, and what I was trying to explain is no matter how rigid the shield is, and even with padding, if something comes down and hits your arm and you have it rigid, like let's say you were that Spartan laying on the ground and the samurai came over. I'm sorry, but that would be your arm or your body. I mean, that's just not acceptable. I wouldn't consider that good at any given time. I got Thrand here. I want to explain something. This is Elgar. I want to explain something about the Canabo. This here is a piece of live oak just out of a tree that was cut, and it works great for me. I can handle it. Some people might not be able to handle the thing. I can swing this, right? The swing is very unrecoverable. The way you defend with this, as a lot of people show these spikes and stuff on it, is you defend with it like you're using a staff or something. You know, so if you have all these big spikes on it and stuff, it's very difficult to defend with this weapon and attack with it. A lot of them in history weren't these commercial ones you're seeing now. They were just a tree or something, because you could walk with this. It's only about 11 pounds or so at the most. You can walk with this thing as it's a cane or a stick. And, you know, of course, they can be more tapered or made better or whatever. This is just so we can have something that's actual weight. This is the actual weight that it's supposed to be. But it was a lot like a good dog. And a guten Tag is, means good day in Flemish. It was a big maul with spikes on it to kill a man in armor. Why wouldn't I be carrying a bow staff? I mean, a monk or a priest can carry some kind of staff, a peasant can carry a staff anywhere, a peasant can carry a stick like this if he wants. It says it's a walking cane. No problem there. This is a little bit heavy actually, but not by much. So what I'm trying to explain is basically it was a lot like a shillelagh too. I mean, it was kill an armored opponent, usually worn by an unarmored opponent or a low-class warrior. Samurai did not use these. You'll see a picture of a guy in the 19th century when they had Gatling guns in a picture with one. You know what he's doing? He's doing exactly what we do nowadays when we go to the state fair and we get a picture taken like Doc Holliday with our wife standing next to us dressed up like a dance hall girl. That's pretty much what he's doing in that picture. He's a warrior, but they weren't fighting like that on the battlefield when he took that photograph. And as Canabo Jitsu goes, yes, people trained with Canabos back in the day, I'm sure they did. But as a samurai art, it's not documented. The only place I can find Canabo Jitsu is in GURPS role-playing game. So anyway, what we're going to show here is if it was me trying to fight with this thing and I'm trying to defend, you know, I've got to use a thing like this pretty much to defend. I don't really have much else. And then for a swing, I would have to come in and try to do a swing. I can use it like this and so on, you know, to defend, but it's very hard to defend with to actually block. I pretty much have to move. Everything he does, I'm moving to get my blows in and stuff. This is a very awkward, unwieldy weapon. And yes, you have to pretty much put your hand up on it to do something with it. You try to block like this, you'll never be able to do it. Now, if he wants to rush me, I can do stuff like this, and hit, and so on. But this is an awkward weapon, like he got me right there. Hey, this is Thrand. I've got the kusari-gama here. The Ninja vs. Spartan. We don't have a 12-gauge bronze breastplate. And guess what? They didn't wear 12-gauge bronze, to the best of my knowledge. The only thing that's ever been found that was bronze is about 18-gauge bronze, which strangely is the same gauge as this steel here that's been tempered. It's been tempered properly by a friend of mine who's an armorer. It's 16th century plate and is 18 gauge. I think it might be a hair more than a gauge actually. But it's tempered properly, meaning that if this kusari-gama here, done properly, like a Japanese piercing kusari-gama that would be used for combat, goes through this, then it would go through any bronze breastplate or cuirass that the actual Spartan would have been wearing, or Greek hoplite. So we're going to go ahead and try this out and see what kind of penetration we get, and see if I can actually pierce this breastplate. If it pierces at all, I'm going to be surprised, but if it does, we know for beyond a shadow of a doubt it would go through an actual bronze cuirass. And I'm sorry, but it definitely put a nice hole in there. And into the tree. We'll come up and check it out. So if you want to come up and check it out, you're zooming in. Ah, okay. As you see, it put a nice hole in there. Now, this isn't bronze, but it is bronze. I guarantee you that this hardened tempered steel blade would have went clean through. So I don't know what they did in that test. It was totally inaccurate. Bronze couldn't withstand steel like that. It's impossible. Not like. Don't think it was a fluke. Oh, damn. That proves what the kusari-gama is capable of, and these could even be heavier in all steel construction. They would have went clean through like butter on bronze. Sorry. Check out the gauge of this metal. Check out the edge here. So you see I'm not lying to you. This is probably about 18 to 16 gauge. I think it might be in between from what he was telling me when he made it. But I know it's heavier than 18 gauge, 16 being thicker. But this is tempered as well, properly. See a full length chain here. Trying to keep back actual long-range weapon. Let's see what we got. I think it moved when it hit, but we got a nice deal on the double there. Let's try it again. That was a pretty nice hit. Let's see what we got. We hit it here. It's not doing much to it. Hey, try as I might, Lord Wayland would not let us use this. This is what you wanted, a bronze breastplate. The whole thing about it is he did allow us to scratch test it. It is way softer than the hardened steel that we pierced in about the same gauge. Check it out right here. The gauge is the same, and this is based on a historical copy. So what we're trying to tell you is if the weapons that we tested went through the later century steel, they would have went clean through this like butter. But I wanted to show you this even though we weren't allowed to mess it up. This here is the actual leaf-shaped design, and it's an iron sword. There's possibly be longer like the one we tested, and ours is shaped slightly differently, but you see the ridge in the back to make it stronger. This is an actual, like a Xiphos. But just figured I'd show you that, and I thought this was pretty unique. He just got this recently, and he collects artifacts. That's an actual bodkin. Sorry we couldn't use any of this in the video, but he doesn't want it damaged apparently, so can't do it. But I'm glad we got to put this test in with the actual crossbow. It shoots a lot more accurate than a bow, compensate for the Yumi, and actually show that it's, even with accuracy and power, it's very difficult to hit a man charging at you with a shield. Anyway. Hey, we want to check the cutting ability of this. I got a nice glare in my eyes. But anyway, we're going to show that this cuts. But if you notice how it cuts, you could cut this way, but normally that's awkward. You cut and pull in, so it's a slicing mill. Let's see how it cuts this bottle. We know these are not equivalent to bone, but they are pretty good equivalent to human flesh. So let's see what we got. And we kind of pulled it off the table, but here you go. I don't know. I think that's pretty freaking nasty. Considering that's tempered thin steel, but it's still tempered. Hey, Thrand here with the kusari-gama. It did great with that 16th century breastplate. We actually pierced it, which I didn't think was even probably possible due to the tempering the way it's made. So we want to test this weight out and see what kind of actual damage we can get with it. So we'll get this going here. And we're going to go and do a traditional method. And see what kind of damage it actually does. Crap. Hey, this is crap. We've got the kusari-gama here with the actual full dough on the weight. And I'm going to go ahead and see what we can do with this. We've got a cinder block to test it on. So the whole point with this is we'll actually see what kind of damage. Whereas with the actual breastplate is kind of impossible to tell. Let's see what this does. I don't know, but I think that would mess your day up. Let's take another whack at it. That just took a chunk clean out. That'd have been the top of your head. I think that'd pretty much be it. Let's go from the other angle now. I don't know, but I think this weight is pretty freaking damaging. I don't know what y'all think. I think this would do the trick. See how I'm spinning this? I'm using the whole weapon. And you see how lethal that is? It just took a chunk out. Right? This weapon can also be whipped.
Damn it!
Okay, what we've done is we've changed out weights. The weight's a little easier to control when it's lighter, but can it do the same damage? Because a lot of kusari-gama historically, if you look at them, you'll notice that they're actually smaller weights, not very big. So our idea is, can this actually do the damage of the other one with the lighter weight? So we're going to find out right now. See if this can actually do damage to this cinder block.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a big chunk.
Nice chunk out of it. Let's get this thing going again and see what we can do. Try to hit it from the front side. Yeah! The lighter weight seems to be doing the trick. It's pretty nasty. And as you see, the lighter weight tends to do a good job. We'll switch hands even to try to do it more historically here. Well, supposedly they use their left hand. Let's see if we can whip this and break that center block. Let's see what happens. Whoa! Check that out. That was just me whipping the chain like a whip. We took a chunk clean out. Let's. Whoa! That split all the way through. And one of the reasons the thing's swung this way is you tend to swing down slightly. And if you notice what happens, you want it to wrap under and up, going like around a leg or something. So when we come around, it's more likely to go on top, which actually gives you a better grip than if it's underneath. You go away and go to the Well, notice that the technique where you traditionally use it this way, not like what you see in the movies. A lot of stuff, the guy will be sitting here doing this on it. Not to say this is totally wrong, but traditionally it was in the left hand, supposedly, not the right, and it was done this way. See how my hand is? And I noticed from filming that I got a lot of little abrasions on my hand. So if you had to, you could work your way through your hand this way if your hand started getting damaged because of the chain. You know, up to about 2 fingers. You can still use it effectively within the middle of the fist. But I mean, you're supposed to start off this way. Your hand starts taking damage, you can work your way through, you know, to different fingers and still be able to use the chain efficiently and properly. And all the stuff you see where they're taking it and they're spinning it like this and then pushing it back the other way, or you'll see stuff where they come around and then bring it back around. This is just to get it spinning different directions. That's all it is. And it's just the same thing as if I have it up here and I'm spinning it and I want to go the other way, so I come back around this way. I mean, it's pretty just, it's self-explanatory. You're just doing it like this and then boom. That's all you're doing. Like they could tangle something down quite a bit. What do you think?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Recording.
Okay, I'm in Jumoji here. I've got my kusari-gama connected at the top. He's got the katana. He's going to come in with a nice cut, and I'm going to show the actual capture when he does it. As he comes in, it's here, and that is caught. Now when that's caught, I come around breaking the sword here, throwing him this way, and then killing him this way. So as you see, he could not withdraw this blade. Let's show this one more time, just the capture. We're not going to do the throw. The blade's here. And I'll show you, no matter how this blade comes in, if I don't move, it's there. It's not going anywhere. Try to pull the blade up. He's not going anywhere unless I want him to. But that's why I believe these are at the top. There's a bunch of captures with this, and if he comes in overhead, anything, I move out. I now have his weapon. I can even one-hand this and keep control of his weapon. That's why I believe they use this top grip. A lot of people don't know what this is for anymore. They only connect them here at the bottom. But I want to showcase something different in the video. And I think just for that very disarming factor and being able to use it kind of like a kusari-gama and catch everything in the middle, but having it attached to the top gives you way more ability to be able to capture it all sorts of ways. Its blade's not going anywhere. One more here. I thought this was good enough to show, like if this comes in even, you don't have time to do much. That's not going anywhere. If you see what I just did here, that's not going anywhere. Right.